Hiking again. Whew. Excuse me. You know, I put out a video yesterday. From yesterday, hiking 86. And the strangest thing, I'm trying to understand how you get denied promotion on some of these things. It's fucking weird. So I tried to promote it because nobody sees any of your videos unless you put a $5 promotion on it or $10 promotion on it. Just so it'll get it, because they won't put it in front of anybody. Nobody's going to find it unless they already go to your channel. So I tried to promote yesterday's, and a few of mine that I've tried to promote, they denied, and they said harmful content. Okay, they didn't delete the video or anything, or give me a strike or whatever, but they said it was just disapproved for promotion. Okay. Fine, I understand what they consider harmful content and all that. They said mine's shocking and all this, you know, whatever. I know what groups you can't talk about. You know, most people know that by now. But they said, okay, they denied it, and then but they said it was for election promotion or election promoting or something to do with the election. But it was they said it was in the title, and the title is hiking 86. And all the other ones that I've promoted about 3 or 4 more, they're all, everything I fucking do says hiking whatever number I'm on. And how the fuck is that even politically? I mean, when the other ones weren't, how could this one be? It's no different. So I said, okay, I'm going to change the title. So I just put hiking 86, and I put the location of where I was hiking. They still gave it the same, reason for it. I don't understand what the fuck, and there's no way you can call somebody up at an 800 number and make that and have them make you understand, because it's AI that's doing it. It has to be. Because only AI would be that stupid to misinterpret something that badly. And it makes no fucking sense. Yeah, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna try another promotion, and I'm gonna put hiking 86, and then I'm gonna put no political motivation, no election purposes or whatever. It's going to be that blatant in the title because it just doesn't make any sense. And it didn't have anything to do with the video, with what was on video, because it wasn't any content issue. It wasn't harmful content. It was said it was in the title. And then it said, go down to the reason. It said election something. And I just don't get it. If all my other videos that I promoted, they all say hiking blank, how is that one? I mean, I know 86 is a number to get rid of somebody, but I don't think that has anything. I don't know what the fuck. So I guess that's the only thing I can do is hiking 86, non-political video. Because I am not a member, or I'm not on either side of the spectrum. I hate the both sides. I've said it in my other videos. It's the two sides that are fucking us, because stupid people pay attention to the end fight, and it's really them against us. And people, when the average person realizes that, and not only realizes it, decides that that's it. I'm not going to stand for it. I'm not going to, and you don't have to make a large effort. I said it 1,000 times, man. If everybody takes one footstep in the right direction, we begin to get our powers back as a unit. And not even back. I don't think we've ever had it. I mean, we haven't had it in my lifetime. And it's frustrating because it really is that simple. When you have the largest, when you have 90, or it's actually like 97% of the people who are not in the elite spectrum, if you get all them to agree, all of us, there's nothing they can do. Then we have power. But if you turn on your TV and you pay attention to anything, that's the only thing that fucking box is doing, is dividing us. And for everybody who thought, the right was, Republicans were the smart, common sense, Christian values. Anybody who thought that knows now that that's a load of shit. And even if they are that, they bow down to a certain ally of ours. If they weren't born there. Dude, look at this. That's Somal. I'll say her name. That one in Minnesota, that politician chick. Everybody knows who she is. The one that married her cousin or whatever. Or brother. And she's caught up in this fucking welfare scam for billions. Her, that fucking clown that was running for vice president with Kamala, what's his name? The Lion football coach, who I'm pretty sure is 100% pedo. You see a lot of these fucking guys. They look really, they look like, you know, somebody you'd see in public and be like, that's a fucking weirdo. But yet they're governors or congressmen or senators. And they are creeps. It's just, that's where we are now. You don't even get to run for anything. Won't even be put in no ballot box for you if you're a good person. It's just not going to happen. I mean, if you're trying to do it the right way, you're only going to get so far. And I think a lot of crooked politicians probably intended to only be as crooked as they needed to get themselves in a position to take down the fucking bad guys. But probably all of them do it. But then they realize that to go in, you know, to take a step in deeper in those groups, you have to do something that is going to protect them, which is having something on you. And that's why they like sexual deviant people, because they're the easiest ones. And especially if you like youngsters, you are easily blackmailed. And that's why there's so many of them in there, because there's no good guys. And the bad guys pulling the strings they can't show themselves. Well, they can only show themselves behind the blackmailed politician. And the dirty game has been weeding itself out, getting all the good people out, and all the fucking creeps, to the point now where there's no good guys left in there. I mean, look at the vice president. Dude, he was nothing. Who knows? He said supposedly he went to law school, Harvard, but he didn't do shit. His law degree is bullshit. He got pushed through by Peter Thiel. To do exactly what he's doing now, so that Peter Thiel can get all of his shit. And that's the man right there that's gonna have us fucking policed by AI because he already does it in Gaza. I mean, it's crazy what his shit does. I mean, you would have to think that pretty much anywhere, that system that he has that tracks and hunts people, that has to be illegal. I know there's no way it would pass our Constitution. It couldn't be constitutional. They're going to use it anyway. I'm sure they're using it to some degree already. And the main reason they want AI government, AI policing, is because they'll sit behind it and program it on what to do. But when it does it, there's no human that can be accountable for it. It's on the AI. What are we going to do? Put the AI in prison? So it's just a way for them to police the strongest way possible, inhumanely, because they won't, humans won't, for the most part, even if you got the worst people to be cops, you put criminals, there's going to be a few good ones, and it's going to fuck it all up if you're going to have but an example of to how it works is the UN. The UN's army. They got all their soldiers are from African nations. They picked up in the villages who had nothing. And now they eat well and live well. And they're out of those villages and they will do anything they're told. And they rape and pillage along the way with authority. And if there's a pandemic declared, that's what we will have to be dealing with here. And even though supposedly we're not in that treaty, I don't think it's going to matter. When it's biblical, it's hard to imagine it's not going to happen. It's crazy though, how all these things are lining up and people just go along. And we're not all NPCs, if you believe that. If you believe in the NPC. I mean, I think some people are stupid and thoughtless, but I don't think they're just human clones that are walking around to fill up space like a video game. Although I could be wrong. I mean, I don't doubt anything. Yeah, and the whole simulation thing, I mean, that's possible, but I don't think it's a simulation with a determined outcome. I think it's fuck these bugs. I think it's a simulation where they lead you in a certain way to see an experimental thing or something. I don't know. It doesn't feel genuinely organic though. I mean, and so much like is so scripted. Speaking of scripted, I thought by now we'd be in our next pandemic, but because they schedule all this shit, and it was scheduled for December 25. Maybe they're just a little late. Well, then we know that it's humans that are doing it if they're running late. More than likely. I think that's the biggest, like, Achilles heel that humans have, at least Americans, is procrastinating. We do everything at the last minute. That's like when people are telling you they're taking our freedoms away. People are like, I got 2 kids, I got 3 kids and 2 jobs, and I don't got time to worry about tomorrow. Or worrying about if my kids are gonna have a future, which is stupid as hell, because that's all you should be thinking of when you're towards the later years of your life and you have kids. All you should be thinking about is what's going to be like for them. And right now, it's a nightmare. I don't even want to think about how kids today are going to be when they're adults. Maybe by then they'll have no, because right now we're just buying time, or they're fucking with us before they drop the hammer on us, because they've got the weapons to do it at any point, and they've had them for years. And look, when you see these little wars breaking out, or we're bombing somebody, or they're not using what they have, you know. And I know who has those weapons, or who the main ones who has them are. I mean, it's us, but there really is no us when you think about this country anymore. And it's just a fact. This is West Jerusalem, West Tel Aviv. And it's real bad. I mean, I would have never thought that there'd be laws in this country to where you couldn't criticize another country, or you can't refuse to do business with a country, and it's not even this country that they're talking about. Almost more than half the states. Not only that, you can't march against that country either. More than half of the states have that law. I mean, it's unthinkable. Really, what's unthinkable is all of us sitting on our testicles while they make these laws, and just saying, oh, like, I got 2 jobs, like I'm too busy. But then one person makes noise, it doesn't do anything, because it's got to be everybody. I mean, if everybody doesn't agree, then the few that make noise, they're just going to call them crazy, or they're going to call them terrorists. Which is what they're doing now. If you're against genocide in the Middle East, you're a terrorist. And I know that there's a lot of Muslims that just hate that. I mean, that think crimes against Christians is fine, and that raping Christian women is fine, because their religion tells them they can do that. And that's insane. Any religion that says that you can rape other religious members, that's not a godly religion. It's not a religion. I mean, that's one sign right there that you're not in a religion that is any good. I mean, a religion, Christianity is just, whether it's a true story or not, and I believe it is, partially. I mean, I think there's a lot left out, but Christian societies are the ones that strive. Although every one of them, you find out there's a particular group that ends up destroying it or turning on it every time. We all know what group that is. I'm not going to say it. Been trying to play the game, the censorship game, and not saying the really blatant stuff. I hate doing that, but I got almost 2,000 views on one video. Damn. I don't even think it was, I don't watch all my videos, but I don't think it was one of my best. It's like 40 minutes long. Another one I got like 500 and something. It was 20 minutes long. And I know when they're that short, you're going to get more views. But I'm not really out just for views. I mean, fuck. When I started doing this, it was just for the fuck of it. Just because I was hiking every day almost, and watched other people's shit. So I started doing it with my phone and making videos. Oh boy, those first few I did were so bad with my phone. They were so shaky. And I got the GoPro. But it's what I like about doing this is I would suggest that everybody do it. Because when you turn on a camera and you're hiking and nobody's with you, it starts to you start talking to, you know, everybody. When you're, at first it was weird because I knew nobody was going to watch any of the videos, so it was like I was watching, nobody's going to see what I was doing, so I really didn't really think much about, no, I definitely didn't edit myself or censor myself. I said all the wrong shit. Those would have gotten it, you know, censored if anybody was watching. But it's, especially in the world today, man, unless you're really rich, life is getting rough for everybody. And when I come up here and hike, when I turn that camera on, I can really empty, you know, open my mind up and just let things pour out. And once you start talking about things, it just opens, lets all the shit out, and you feel better, because I mean, it's the one person I see every day almost, my neighbor. We play pool all the time, you know, if I don't go to work, if I'm not working that day or whatever. But we play pool every day. He don't talk about none of this shit. If I try to say anything about it, he'll shoot it down and get pissed. You know, that's just the way some people deal with a fucked up world. So I just let it be. I mean, everything has its reasons. It's a good thing he doesn't engage in this, because that's what we'd be talking about all the time. And since he doesn't, you know, we can play pool and talk about other shit. And if you just mention anything, he gets pissed. But I understand it's, some people are like, fuck this, man. I'm not gonna make a difference with my voice. I can't do shit. I'm just along with a, you know, I'm just going along with a fucked up, I'm just a passenger on a fucked up ride. So fuck it. And that's kind of how I feel too. I feel a little more inclined to try to do something about everything, you know. You know, things are so fucked up, and everything is just so, it's almost impossible to be really happy right now. Like I said, unless you're seriously financially stable. It's not easy. Kind of like when I figured out the earth was flat. And I did that before even though I was a Christian, I never paid a lot of attention to the Bible. And I never listened to creation. And I never really listened, because they wouldn't talk about much about the Bible saying the earth's flat. But when I first figured that out, And it's so obvious. And the cover-ups. And how they cover up all of it, you know. They just make it so obvious. So when I see people that won't say that they see that the earth is flat, or they won't, or they're going to stick to their guns, or they're, you know, it's mostly just because they're afraid. But I don't understand that fear. That's the first acknowledgement of truth that just really kicks the fucking door in on it, and it, you know, and for people that when you tell them that, or when some people, you throw a few facts at them and they know that you're right, and they'll say, oh well, what difference does it make? And I mean, that's just the lamest fucking stance you can have, because it's not based in reality. I don't care who you are. Now, if you're only going to say flat or round as a shape, makes no difference. Okay, then you're right there. But there's so much behind that. If it's flat, then, and it's enclosed, then everything they say up there is a lie. And it is. And that's where their story fucking falls apart. Or their narrative. And everybody should see that. I mean, everybody should really figure out when they're kids, like I did. I didn't know it was flat, but like when somebody would say, oh, that star is, you know, 30 billion miles away, and I'm looking at it, I'm going, bullshit. I mean, my instinct says bullshit because I can see it. I can't see anything that far away. And if it was 30 billion miles away or something like that, wouldn't something maybe come in between me and that thing from time to time? Because it sure looks like all of those things are pretty fucking clear. And they dance around like they're not solid objects either. I mean, you know, the space is water after a certain point, and that's why we see blue. And we're in a bubble. That's why you see the other models of Earth from other civilizations show like a snow globe. We're like the Aquaman's pets or something. He created a bubble. And I just have a feeling. That's why I think the flat Earth is so important. Because I think even when you figure that out, and you figure out a lot of things, I think there's more that none of us could even imagine in this deception. You know, I don't think any of us have it completely right. That's why I've always tried to stop thinking at the boundaries that you can see to, you know. I don't try to say what's outside of the Earth system. I know there's more land. There's more land in this And I mean, there's more land at the North Pole. I saw military documents that said, you know, and it's like, and that inner earth shit you hear is real. It's, but it may not be inner earth. Maybe it is, but it's, military document I saw long ago said, from the 60s, said that at the North Pole there were, when you get to the North Pole, there was endless land masses. Now, endless land masses, that doesn't mean a few islands. Endless, that sounds like quite a bit of land. So this thing is layered, this world is layered dimensionally or something, or maybe not even dimensionally, just there was an inner portion. I mean, it's hard to believe that they'd hide it, or not hide, for me to believe that they would hide it. But if you're buying the story they're giving us, then when some, because some revelation is gonna be made. I can just feel it. And it's probably not gonna be the truth at first. Here I am. First water. This was a long video because I started it early. So I'm gonna shut this one off. Put on a dry shirt and head down. Maybe make another video on the way down. Where's the bears? All right, peace, y'all. Merry Christmas. Well, it's not Christmas yet. You know what I mean.